Here at the SCI Convention with our good friend Larry Potterfield from Midway USA. Larry, it's good to see you, sir.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
So before we start talking about Midway, I want to talk about the foundation. We were at SHOT Show last week. We interviewed people from the MidwayUSA Foundation. It's part of something that you at Midway are very passionate about. It's giving back and donations and helping youth shooting sports. Talk about that. Why is that important to you?
Well, as Brenda and I got to where we could start giving away money, now obviously you have to figure out where you're going to give it. Lots of people will take your money, but where can you put it that's where you'd like to have it? And we thought that one of the places that we needed money was in high school and college shooting teams. And so there wasn't any money for them, but there were a lot of shooting teams. So the MidwayUSA Foundation was created specifically to help high school and college shooting teams raise money for their teams. And there's about 2,300 teams now that have endowed money in the MidwayUSA Foundation. They draw 5% a year. We give about $5 million out twice a year to those high school and college shooting teams as grant money.
You know, you're wearing the NRA Golden Ring of Freedom jacket, signifying the amazing amount of money that you've donated to the NRA. You have the NRA Roundup, the Roundup for the NRA Foundation, NRA ILA. Why is the NRA itself so important to you?
Well, let me say first of all that the NRA gave me this jacket because Brenda and I gave them a lot of money. She has a jacket also. And so I wear it and I introduce it, telling people that I hope they'll get a jacket also. So the NRA, we wouldn't be here talking today if it weren't for the NRA. So the question again was, now I forgot.
Why is the NRA so personally so important to you?
Well, here's the Safari Club show. I don't think that it would be here if it weren't for the NRA. So if you look at that Second Amendment and you think, what's the most important thing for everything? And the Second Amendment really is the foundation, I think, that all the other key conservation groups are built on.
This is the Safari Club International. We're filled with the big hunters, anglers from all around the world. Why is this is an important show? And talk about the state of hunting right now. How is the state of the hunting industry?
You know, we've got a lot of work to do in the future to reestablish the hunting community, is what I would say. That's work that Safari Club will do, work that the NRA will do. That's really kind of an expanding mission of the NRA to put emphasis on hunting, because if no one wants to hunt, then there'll be certainly less interest in guns in the future. So there's a lot of pressure on hunting, a lot of anti-hunting media, and you know how that is. If you're going to have a position, you're going to have to work really hard to promote hunting and what it's all about, hunting and wildlife conservation.
We were talking before this interview, you're on your way to Africa in a few weeks, you've hunted all around the world. What is it about hunting that gets you? What do you get out of it, and why is it so important to you to spread the message to future generations to get out there and do what you can do?
It's not an easy answer, but I guess first of all it's a connectivity to my past. So Dad was a hunter and taught me to hunt and shoot. I don't know about his grandfather and father, so it connects me with my family, hunting does. Connects me, I think, really with all of the past, because we've been hunters, man has been forever. I can't imagine a future without hunting. I can't imagine a future without wildlife, and I don't think you'll have wildlife if you don't have hunting. You'll have it in the parks and in the zoos, but if you want to go see the real wild of Alaska or Africa or Canada, you need animals there, and if you don't hunt them, take the money you spend on hunting to protect them, then those people that want to kill them are just going to go kill them all.
You talked about your family tradition, and you were talking about it's important to get people hunting now, but people have Facebook and they have the video games, and kids aren't going outside as much, and there's even places where the kids can't go outside. They can't even walk home from school anymore. Is that what you're most worried about, the loss of the connection to the outdoors?
Well, what I think is you always have got to have one hand in the past and one hand in the future. So the future we need to prepare for, but we can't forget the past. So hunting to me is part of the past, and I hope it's part of the future. Video games are not part of the past, they're part of the future. I can't say video games aren't important, but I can say that hunting is important. Our kids are growing up and they get to go hunting and they get to play video games. They get to do both. I don't know what the future will be for them, but my grandkids were shooting geese 2 days ago back home, and they shoot deer and turkeys, and I mean they're 10 and 12 years old, and so I'm always going to be wanting to support hunting as part of the past and what I hope would be part of the future, and it's all for wildlife conservation. As we've historically seen that as soon as wildlife isn't important to anybody, then it isn't important to anybody, and you won't have game and fish departments because there's no money to support them, and then ultimately you won't have the wildlife.
As we begin 2018, it's today as we tape this, it's February 1st. How's business? How's business at Midway USA? What is the state of the industry?
I'll probably get some hate mail for this, but I miss Obama. So
Wait, so is the Trump slump real, or is that just exaggerated in the media?
well, let me say that we have 4 buildings at Midway USA. They're named after the presidents on Mount Rushmore. That seems pretty fitting. And when I give people tours and tell them all that, then invariably somebody asks, well, Mr. Potterfield, when you have your 5th building, who are you going to name it after? And of course, that's the joke. Well, Obama, of course, because we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for him. So we had bought a bunch of inventory for the Miss Clinton's celebration party, because we knew that if she were elected, we would need a lot of inventory.
Right.
And now we've been selling that out for the last year and about out of it. So we had a great 2017 because we had a lot of inventory to sell. That inventory is gone now, and we're into the realities of 2018, and it simply is lower than it was in the past because no one is particularly apprehensive that they won't be able to buy a gun tomorrow. So that's just a reality. As the tax cuts go in place and the economy continues to grow and all the middle class has money, I can tell you that the people that are working for a living, if they have the money, they want to go hunting and fishing. Yeah. And that's the strength that I see with Trump, is that he will change the economy. There'll be a lot of money goes into the hunting and shooting community.
So people with their tax cuts, with their discretionary income, go to Midway USA and spend a lot of money is what you're trying to say.
Well, they'll go lots and lots of places, I hope, and spend a lot of money.
Yes. Larry Potterfield from Midway USA. Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.